What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm MLB DFS Game Day Play Preview Show. Today, we are looking at the 12-game main slate over on DraftKings. Your guy, James Grande, will be on the playbook for this slate. So we're giving our first look here at this 12 games. A quick scan, no Coors Field, Colorado in San Francisco. So praise be. Out of course here for the large slate, some good matchups, some good rivalries as well. Yankees, Red Sox in Boston for the weekend. That should be a fun one for you and I, Grande, because you're a Yankees fan. I'm a Red Sox fan.
It won't be fun. It won't be fun for me.
Should be interesting. It should be interesting. Thoughts? How we doing?
We're doing good. Some very interesting slate, and you're right. Praise be Kodai Senga.
I was gonna say.
Making his debut here.
I was going to say, we got a Kodai Senga.
85 pitches or 5 innings, which I guess are two different things. But when you're Kodai Senga, you walk a lot of people. They might be the same thing. Senga's taking the mound. We have some really good top-tier pitching. Nobody priced too highly either. It should be a fun breakdown here.
Should be a good one. We'll bring it into the slate here. Bring it up so we can all see the actual board. Pitching. Freddie Peralta is your top-priced starting pitcher, $9,800. George Kirby on the road against the White Sox, $96. Grayson Rodriguez gets the Padres at $94. Sonny Gray against the Nationals, who were just no hit on Thursday at $93. Zach Gallen against the Pirates at $91, and Kodai Senga making his season debut at $9,000. The Freddie Peralta matchup here, coming off 6 shutout innings against the Minnesota Twins, 8 strikeouts. Gotta love it, obviously, going up against Miami. Yes, he's had some good outings and some poor outings, but this is a grade A matchup for us here.
Yeah, it's the ceiling too, right? Like, you're paying for the ceiling. Like, he has 40 fantasy point upside in this spot if he's not walking people, because he has double-digit strikeout upside. So Freddie Peralta is an elite play. The Kirby thing is interesting to me because he's obviously been one on the long list of starters for Seattle that have been better at home. But the matchup is just undeniably good.
Yeah.
But we've seen, 11 home runs allowed this year, 10 have been on the road.
Yeah.
His ERA is 1.5 runs higher on the road. His batting average allowed is 30 points higher on the road. Like, and none of those numbers are bad necessarily, except the home runs could obviously be a little bit better. The strikeouts a little bit better.
Over a strikeout per inning at home, under a strikeout per inning on the road.
But it's like he's coming off a great road start. Actually, 2 straight great road starts. 3 actually kind of against Miami. Like, if you're 4. If you realistically, you're looking at the road, his latest road stretch.
In May, he got hammered on the road. He went into Minnesota, 4 innings, 5 earned. Baltimore, 5 innings, 5 runs, 6 innings. Washington, 5 runs, 6 innings. And essentially, since that start, he's only been since May 24th. He's had 1 start where he gave up more than 2 earned runs.
Yeah, he's been really good, and this is the dream spot for it. So,
but would you rather pay the 96 for him or the 98 for Peralta? Given where they're at,
it's still probably Peralta, but I think if you're talking consistency, Kirby's been the more consistent of the two, and then Peralta's been the guy with the higher ceiling, just given the strikeout equity. But Grayson, I think he's probably lower down on the totem pole. A lot of ground ball, like he was giving up a lot of fly balls earlier in the year. Has been getting a lot more ground balls lately. He's definitely fine. If you want to, San Diego's been a good road team, also a good team against right-handed pitching.
They don't strike out, which is one.
Yeah,
generally don't strike out.
Generally don't strike out. I'm definitely okay with Sonny Gray as well. Obviously, like weird start against Atlanta.
4 homers allowed.
Dude, went deep into the game, allowed a lot of runs, a lot of home runs, and had 10 strikeouts because
87 pitches, 10 strikeouts in 7 innings. That's like you're very efficient with your strikeouts, and then you're giving up home runs, right?
Yeah.
He gave up 3 solo home runs there. So Yeah, I mean, but he's been getting hit 2, 7, 8, 9, 8 hits the last 4
Yeah, he
games.
has.
You know, you just faced Washington in Washington, did not fare well in that game. So, you know, I'm a little skittish. I kind of like Zach Gallen here against Pittsburgh. Again, I know that he's had a couple of rough outings as well. You know, but a 91
6 walks.
Yeah, the walk. I mean, dude, the walks. Where did that come from? But he gets back home here, where he's been slightly better. Pittsburgh. He's 91, which I think is really what the point I like about him. So, you know, that's fine. And then, what do you do with Kodai Senga? Because we've talked a lot about attacking Atlanta here lately, and over the last 30 days, even they've been pretty bad. You know, we'll see what Luis Severino is able to do to them on the Thursday slate, and maybe we can readjust that take when we do the live show at 5. But you know, last 30 days they were like 26th in WOBA, 26th in batting average. I think it was like 21st in ISO, and they had a 25% strikeout rate. Super encouraged by the fact that he threw 85 pitches in that last rehab outing, because at that 79.
Yeah.
Okay.
They're saying that there's
him to get to 85. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. 5 innings and 85 pitches. So I guess we'll see what comes first. Do you think it's?
That's what I'm saying. It's a weird combination. He is a guy that walks people though. So like they might
remember last year, super good at home.
Super good at home.
So, all right, I'll temper my expectations here. I thought that was saying he threw 85 in his last, not he's going to look to be 85. Oh, man, I wish I knew if that was like whatever comes first. Like
if he's at 5 innings, 60 pitches, you're right. Like, oh,
do they let him go? You know, like that's what I want to know. So I guess we kind of have to fade the Senga play here. Because I would be a little bit worried just 5 innings.
On a big slate, on a smaller slate, maybe. On a big slate, no thanks.
Yeah, that's where I'm at. Under the 9K tier, Kikuchi at home against Texas. Morton gets the Mets. Nestor Cortez on the road against Boston.
That's the weirdest. That's the weirdest one of the day, isn't it? Isn't that the weirdest one?
I mean, even Cortez struggled at home last time, so I'm not sure what to read into that one. Framber gets the Dodgers at 82. Brady Singer 81 against the Cubs. I feel like I haven't seen Singer on a slate in a little bit. Thoughts on the 8K range? Is there anybody that you would pitch in the 8K range?
Probably Brady Singer. That would probably be the guy for me. He's been pretty good. Outside of a little blip against Boston. Hey, lefty riddle lineup against a guy who like kind of struggles against lefties.
And Boston at home. You know,
at home, like I mean, dude, like that whole series was just a bloodbath for Kansas City pitching. I think except Reagan's who pitched well, but
yeah.
I mean, Singer's been good, dude. Look at the starts surrounding that Boston start. 5 starts of 1 earned run or less, and one of them included a start in Coors Field, and he still went 7 innings, 1 run. The strikeouts have been fine. The ERA back to 3. The Cubs have been like slightly below league average in July against right-handed pitching. 18th in WOBA. They're 19th in OPS, 158 ISO. That's 20th. 22% strikeout rate. Like I'd probably go Singer over the other tier. No thanks on Kikuchi. I know we probably should like revisit how bad Texas continues to be. So maybe, but like they've been better against lefties specifically in July. Morton, Mets are too good right now. The Nestor thing is like only saying it's interesting because how much Boston strikes out against lefty, but it's like, is it counteracted by how bad Nestor's been on the road? You know, like because the splits are insane, but also, dude, we saw Boston kind of not do anything against Ty Blach and Austin Gomber.
I was gonna say Austin Gomber, dude, went out there and had like 7 strikeouts. Or something.
Well, I guess Ty Blach wasn't great.
Yeah.
Austin Gomber was. So
he was good. Good for what Austin Gomber is. 5 2/3, 4 earned, 5 strikeouts. I mean,
in Coors,
the Coors Field boost there. He gave up the homer to Westbrook, didn't he? Like that's why we were like, So I mean, but we know what that lineup is going to look like for Boston. We know the exact
lineup.
Super, uninspiring looking team, but one, Nestor hasn't really looked that good outside of that one
he
start
hasn't.
at home against Boston. Like the road numbers are the road numbers, and they go back a couple of years here. So I'm definitely not pitching Nestor Cortez. So
yeah, and Framber, I mean, obviously, like we've said it all year, like the talent, he's not an 8,200 talent, but he is pitched too inconsistent to like want to pitch him here against the Dodgers.
agreed. I do think that there's some interesting guys in the 7K range. Luis Ortiz, pitching pretty well out of the starting rotation.
He has pitched really well.
Shuts out Philly over 7 innings, now only 2 strikeouts there. Faces the White Sox, strong outing. Faces the Mets, who we talked about being really good. Shut them out over 6. Had a start against the Reds in Cincinnati, 6 inning and earned 7 Ks there. Now Arizona, obviously, Ketel Marte's on fire.
Oh my god!
That offense is doing a little bit better, but Luis Ortiz is really pitching well. Brian Bayo, you're talking about how poor the Yankees lineup has been. Bayo actually, I think, has some good historical numbers against the Yankees as well. I know you hate looking over historical pitching data, but gets up for some of those games. And for me, Kyle Harrison, gets the Rockies out of course, so that's always kind of an appealing spot for me here. He's 6,900.
Yeah, the only thing I would kind of push back on is Ortiz, and not that I don't think he's pitching well, because I do think he's pitching well. The strikeouts are a little bit concerning because Arizona doesn't strike out, and so in July, Arizona is 5th in OPS. They are 2nd in ISO, obviously, fueled by Marte, Walker, right?
Yep.
Like they're hitting a lot of home runs. And they're 6th in WOBA. They're 5th in WRC plus. So it's a top 6 offense basically across the board against right-handed pitching. And I think Ortiz is like, there's been a lot of fly ball outs and not a lot of strikeouts. So that's a little bit concerning for me.
He doesn't give up any home runs, though.
He does not give up home runs. I would say it's hard, at least in the beginning of the year, to say that would that be true over a full course? Like what is the correction over a full course of a starting season? Because like he didn't start. Like he's pitched in 26 games.
Even his last 5 games.
No home runs.
No home runs, right?
Yeah,
he's got a 1 ERA. He's got a 199 WOBA, 189 average against, a 315 xFIP against. So like not terrible numbers there. Yeah. Just a 20% hard contact rate against him over those 5 outings as well. So I mean, like, he's getting bad contact. He's not getting hit, not giving up home runs. Yeah, the strikeouts certainly leave a bit to desire, 7.8 K per 9, but only a 1 walks per 9. So it's not like, a lot of times you look at these guys who are like, well, a lot of free passes, he can get burnt. It's not really walking anybody. I don't disagree, though. Arizona at home, obviously a good offense, and there's certainly guys in that lineup that can do damage, but the numbers look pretty good overall. It's just one of those things where it's like, is the offense better? Is Luis Ortiz this guy, or, is there regression coming? There's, you got to figure it out, I guess, and take your chances. What are your thoughts on like the other value plays in this tier?
Yeah, I don't mind Bayo because as long as the Yankees are going to continue to throw the lineup out that they're going to, I assume Glaber, Ben Rice is like 1 and 4 in some type of order. And again, that's your surrounding Soto and Judge with. Right. Now, like Bayo giving up home runs is scary with Juan Soto and Aaron Judge in the form that they're in. Because this is early season. Soto is as good as he's been all year right now. And like Judge is who he is. So like that's obviously scary. But there's obviously strikeout appeal in this matchup. Bayo's been really good from a fantasy perspective lately. I mean, 3 of the last 4 starts, he's been nearly at 18 fantasy points, 2 of which he's gone over 20. And that's been, aided by the strikeouts.
I said the strikeouts are what's helped because he's giving up runs, right? Like he hasn't been this shutdown starter, but he's striking guys out. So you're getting 17.9 fantasy points in a game where he goes 6 with 3 earned and gets a no decision, because you can live with that at $7,100. You're going to get 18 fantasy points at $7,100 because he's striking guys out. He gave you 21 fantasy points. He got a win against Oakland. He only went 5 innings and gave up 5, but he had 11 strikeouts. So no, I agree with you. Obviously, we know Bayo struggles. Lefty power has been a thing since he's come into the league, which is wild because he's supposed to be a ground ball pitcher that he just gives up so many home runs, and that trend is continued this year. 505 slug, 2 homers per 9 to lefties. Righties hold them down, less than 1 homer per 9 against right-handed hitting. Just a 395 slugging, a 320 WOBA. So, if the Yankees going to throw some lefties out there and obviously some lefty power bats, there will be the ones to do the damage against him here. So, we'll see if he can kind of keep it under control or not, or at the very least continue the strikeout surge.
He's your pivot off Kyle Harrison, who's going to be popular. Harrison's going to be popular. You gave him a shout.
I don't know why he's so cheap.
I don't either. I think that is like a slate too late thing because like Coors Field, I feel like we've seen pitchers come out of Coors like significantly cheaper than they've been.
73 in Coors, those a shutout. Now he's in a much better pitcher environment against the same team. They dropped him $400.
So I think that's your chalk value, and it's warranted. Heaney has been pretty good if you want to go there. Tough spot against Toronto with the lefty, but he's been good. Drew
He shut
Thorpe,
down Colorado both times. Hasn't allowed an earned run in 10 innings against them, or 3 starts, 3 earned runs in 17 innings against them. So
yeah, good.
Really good.
Drew Thorpe, 66. He continues to pitch really well. Dude, he has had 1 bad start, and it was against Arizona. And then since then, we've had 5 straight really good outings of Drew Thorpe. The only thing you can look at Drew Thorpe is the walks and the strikeouts. One needs to dip and one needs to rise. But
ceiling strikeout matchup for me.
Ceiling strikeout matchup. No Julio, no JP Crawford. I mean, this is a really bad offense for Seattle. So obviously,
and you get them on the road. But you've said Seattle's offense has been a little bit better on the road than on.
For sure. No. For sure, they've been better on the road. But also, like, you still have to consider 2 of their top 3 people in their lineup are not there. And like, you have Victor Robles, who wasn't even on your team or like playing 2 months ago, hitting second against righties and lefties. Like, that's just what he's doing. So, and I'm not taking shots at a guy that we've been playing, but I'm also just saying, like, I'll give one more shout. I got one more shout for you.
Okay.
I'm gonna say Kyle Freeland, and I didn't want it to be true. I really wanted San Francisco to like tee off on him in Coors Field. Dude, he has been weirdly good since coming off the IL. And now and 3 of them have been home against Washington, home against KC, against.
Look at his splits on the board right now. Dude, he has a 10 ERA on the road. He's got a 1.88 on home.
Are you? But like
I don't know.
Dude, he gave up 10 first. Look at his first 2 starts of the year. 17 earned runs.
Yeah.
3 starts after that, he goes on the IL. Since then, he hasn't allowed as many earned runs as he did in that first start of the year.
Yeah.
Combined.
Oh, I agree.
And 2 of them on the road, John. In Cincinnati, he went and he 2 runs, 9 strikeouts against the Reds. I'm just saying, like, San Francisco, are we like, what other than Tyler Barry Bonds Fitzgerald, what is impressing us right now currently about San Francisco?
I will say that their lineup is a little interesting. Jorge Soler leading off, guy that we know hits lefties well. Elio Ramos, we know, guy that's hit lefties well all season long. I know he's starting to slump a little bit, starting to come back to earth a wee bit, but they do have Tyler Fitzgerald in that lineup. Listen, for $5,500, the way he's been pitching, no arguments, right? you can throw him in there. Dude, we've talked about this at Colorado all season long. Like, I don't know. Do they have a new pitching coach? Do they have like a new, like their starters really haven't been like
good? I know they've been good.
They haven't been that bad this year as they've been in years past. Quantrill and Gomber and Freeland, and they've had other guys that have kind of popped in there, and you're like, man, this guy actually, they didn't give up 10 runs. What happened? Like they're supposed to. So
I got something for you. Okay. Here's your July numbers for the San Francisco Giants. There is the Boston Red Sox have been usurped in strikeout rate, John. Can you guess who leads the baseball in strikeouts against left-handed pitching? in the month of July.
Is it the Giants?
It is 34% strikeout rate in the month of
We
July.
did just see Clayton Kershaw today, 6 strikeouts in 4 innings. So
624 team OPS, that's 28th. 278 team WOBA, that's 28th. To your point about Soler leading off, 160 ISO, that's league average. So, like, the only thing they're doing against left-handed pitching right now is hitting home runs. And this is the worst park to do that, right?
Sure.
Like, other than Seattle, or a second worst park in baseball. So, Kyle Freeland at $5,500, if you wanted to go, because we're going to talk about Baltimore against Major. We're going to talk about Kyle Hendricks is on the mound to potentially get like a Bobby Witt into it. Like, there are very appealing spend ups. And 5,500 Freeland is a really good way to help your line.
He's been 57, 5K the last 3. He's giving you 19, 27, and 17. You're winning slates.
You win a tournament with that. You win a tournament with that.
Yep, I agree. All right, let's go to catcher. Where there is obviously a 12-game slate, so just an annoying amount of options that you can pick from here. I mean, I think that's the only the way I could describe it. There's just so many catchers. As usual, when we get the lineups out, we'll be able to determine where we want to go here. I don't even know. Connor Wong's 4K against Nestor Cortez feels like a spot.
He'll hit third, right?
Yeah, feels like a spot you want to probably target, but we'll break that down a little bit more when we go live. Is there any other shouts you want to give quickly at catcher?
No, I'm not even. I just looked. I actually like the whole 5K tier, so I'm not even going to bother.
Yeah, well, if you're using a 5K pitcher, you can use 5K catcher. So that is fine. We're gonna have a Drew Thorpe, Kyle Freeland, SP1, SP2 build going.
I'm so hyped.
And all right. Up at top here, you got Ohtani and Freeman votes versus a lefty in Valdez. Walker gets Ortiz. Olsen, Alonso up over 5K. Are you prioritizing any of these options as spend ups at first base?
I think would be Christian Walker. If I'm playing like a Marte Walker 2-3 stack or 2-4 stack, or just Arizona in general, just hoping that Luis Ortiz serves one up. But not necessarily. I mean, we know how good Shohei is against lefties if you want to play him. I would say Vladdy, probably the first name, because he just continues to do it. I know they got absolutely manhandled on Thursday, and that's going to happen. But before that, Vladdy, I think you and I were talking. We talked on the Wednesday show. We're like, yeah, he's hitting home runs every day, and then he hit another one that night, and we're like, oh, okay, well. So I think Vladdy would probably be the first name that I get to. Yeah,
and the one thing with Guerrero, if you go look at his overall splits this year versus lefties and righties, he's doing much better against righties and lefties. But obviously, it's been now like a 2-month stretch where he has been just tormenting the league here. So you want to take this back to June 1st against left-handed pitching. He's hitting 333 with a 381 ISO. So a 2-month sample size against left-handed pitching for Vlad Guerrero. 381 ISO, 300 average, 1,000 OPS. So sometimes, like you mentioned, you take a look at some of the early stats and they aren't great because, dude, they were talking about trading Vladimir Guerrero Jr. and those guys the first couple of months of the year for how poor they've been. He's flipped his season around, and in turn, he is just smashing. So I'm with you there. Definitely like Vlad Guerrero Jr. at $4,900. The pass wash here at $4,800 as well against Kyle Hendricks. If you wanted to run that one out there, 282 average. You'd like some power from a guy his size.
You don't think 587 OPS? You don't think that's good?
That leaves a lot to be desired, but you know what?
His average is higher than his OBP. Thoughts?
Yeah. Rare occurrence. But you got Summers in Kansas City.
That's wrong, right? Is that wrong? Is that wrong?
I don't.
That has to be wrong. It has to be.
What did you say? What did you say?
His average is higher than his OBP. No. In the 10-game split.
Yeah, it is. It's 282 versus 270. That can't be right.
That has to be wrong.
It has to be wrong.
That's not wrong.
It has to be wrong.
Or that is like not possible.
I would like to know the math.
Like he even has a walk mixed in there. Like that's not even. Is that
I'm
not
factoring? Sure, yeah, I'm not sure. We'll have to check the stats.
I'm just asking.
We're gonna have to check some other resources on that number. Anyhow, Pasquantino 48. Mackenzie Gore's been kind of crash. I know that Goldschmidt's been bad as well, but You know,
better against lefties.
Mackenzie
Again,
Gore's been terrible.
he has been weird. He's been weirdly bad.
What else we got?
Orioles,
Reese
so you know what?
as
You know
well
what?
against Rogers.
The thing about the Orioles, and great call on the Hoskins thing. He's hitting third now with Yelich down and out. I think what's going to happen here, everyone's going to look at Major's numbers, and O'Hearn's going to be the popular of the two. And I think Mountcastle for $100 more is your pivot away from O'Hearn, because now we lost that O'Hearn outfield eligibility.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to make a decision. And O'Hearn was better of late, has been better of late. He was 35% on the Thursday slate, and Mountcastle was 10. And Mountcastle had 3 hits and 2 RBIs, and O'Hearn had a walk and a run score.
Yeah.
So, like, you want leverage in a Baltimore stack that should get a lot of runs scored, you play Mountcastle over O'Hearn.
Yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense, right? Because we look at Mountcastle, we say, okay, if a lefty's on the mound, yes. If not, O'Hearn, and everybody obviously group thinks that way. So that lineup goes off. Certainly can. You mentioned Ben Rice again, and we talked about the power numbers for Bayo. Certainly can get there against him for the lefty at $3,900. Do you do Romy Gonzalez at 35? I'm asking you, man. Like,
I mean, I'm not like totally against it. He had a good series in Coors.
He's been good since the break.
Yeah. I think he is obviously a candidate to be pinch hit for. Did that happen? No. But in a 6-0 game, it probably wasn't necessary. In a more competitive division game, I think there's obviously viability to pinch hitting for Romy. He's fine. I don't hate it. I also don't hate, like, if you're not playing Kyle Harrison, either Rocky's first baseman here, Tolley has been incredible in terms of just like the averages with the averages, just raw production, home runs. He hits lefties like with almost a 400 isolated power this year. So, and he's still hitting under 200 against them. So make it make sense. It doesn't. And Chris Bryant came back, had like a 4-hit game. It's not registering. I don't know why DraftKings is a little behind, but he had 4 hits in that second game against the Red Sox there. Okay. So he's $3,500. If you want to be contrarian, like, everyone's playing Harrison, no one's playing Rockies.
Sure. You have Justin Turner here against Heaney as well, another guy that has hit lefties. Yep. Anything else down here for you?
No, I don't think there's anything.
Okay. Second base position we go. Ketel Marte up at the top, 55. Altuve and Stone at 54. Semien 52, your top 3 price guys. Is second base a position you're looking to spend up for here today, or where you're looking to go?
I mean, I'm not against Semien again, who homered again. Feel like he's been homering quite often. He wants people to remember, like, yeah, this is why I was an all-star. Dog.
He did this 2 years ago. He was terrible for the first half and had a monster second half.
Yep. And yeah, we talked about it. I remember you and I talking about this, how we're going to look back at this and be like, wow, great year for Marcus Semien. And it was just 2 months of the year.
Yeah.
But hey, if that's what it takes for Marcus Semien to wake up, it takes, like, Mark Teixeira did that. As a Yankee fan, I remember Mark Teixeira every year was only good when the weather was warm. So Semien at 52, but I largely agree with your sentiments. This is a position that I will probably just take my talents to the low 4s and into the 3s, because Massey at 41 is a play that I'm targeting against Kyle Hendricks. He's been pretty good against right-handed pitching specifically. Bogarts hit third. If Bogarts continues to hit third, I have interest there.
Another 2 hits for him there. Didn't he actually have 4 hits yesterday?
He did. I'm telling you, the stats are wrong. We're like a couple days behind here. Okay. And then if you're not playing Kyle Freeland, Tyler Fitzgerald's $3,500. Like, if you wanted to play a giant,
I mean, I think at this point you just have to plug the kid. Yeah, they're behind 723. They've had a couple of games there. So.
Yeah, and he had a double RBI run on the Wednesday slate and then a triple RBI run on the Thursday slate.
He did.
So, like, he is consistently outproducing the price tag. $3,500 doesn't make a lot of sense.
Agreed. And you know what? He honestly could be popular because if people aren't playing Freeland, they'll just plug Fitzgerald in there. So
Would you play Norby 3K homered on Thursday?
well, I was going to ask you him or McNeil. McNeil 32 against
True.
Morton.
They've both been really, yeah.
Right?
McNeil's
Like
been
again,
really
I
good.
can't show you all the recent stats, but he's been firing. So and then yeah, I mean, listen, we didn't know who was going to get called up for Jorge Mateo. They had like 9 guys that could have been, Jackson Holiday or and obviously they ended up calling it Connor Norby instead. Yeah, dude, they're loaded. They're loaded. Certainly can play Norby there at 3K. Over at third, Devers up at the top. Riley against Senga, Machado, Westberg. Again, I don't find myself being gravitating towards spending up at these positions so far. Maybe that just means we're going to pay up for outfielders or shorts.
We will be paying up for the next 2 positions. That is for sure. Yeah, I mean, if you want to play Devers, like you could play Devers always. He has been fairly bad against lefties this year. But I agree. I mean, what's the first name you get to? Arenado?
Chapman?
Like Garcia, Chapman.
Arenado, Chapman, maybe one of those two.
Yeah, probably. And then like even dropping below, Eugenio, because he continues to homer. Homered again on Wednesday. Yeah. Abraham Toro is playing for Oakland again. If you want to play Abraham Toro.
Where's our guy? There he is. Ernie Clement, 2,800.
Yeah, Ernie Clement, 2,800. Yeah. I mean, he continues to be
our punt play.
Yeah.
If Ezekiel Duran's in the lineup, I don't mind that against Kikuchi. Again, now we're talking super punt value plays, but Duran's better numbers come against left-handed pitching, so that could go there. Shortstop, as we mentioned, a spot we could be spending up for. Bobby Witt, 63. Gunnar, who continues to kind of be sad panda here, $6,200.
Lindor. I'll throw Lindor in that. Lindor, no, they don't have a register. 2 double dongs in his last 3 games. Pending Thursday slate. Maybe he'll make it 3 and 4, but I'd put all 3 of those guys in the same tier. I think Witt, Henderson both have elite matchups. So I'm gonna probably play one of those 2 guys if I'm spending up, but salute to Lindor, who's been as good as anyone else at the position lately.
Yeah, that's fine. I mean, where are you with O'Neal Cruz against Gallen? 5K.
I'm good with playing O'Neal Cruz if this is what we're gonna get. If we're gonna get constant extra base hit, O'Neal Cruz, constant. Yeah, but it's like it's always been hard contact, right? True. But like it's actually contact. Like he's actually making more contact now.
Yep.
And he's running a little bit. Almost double digit stolen base on the year. So yeah, in a tournament, I'm fine with it.
Yep, I'm with you there. Working our way down. Mason wins 43 against Mackenzie Gore. Cedon Rafael is $4,300 against Nestor Cortez. Ezekiel Tovar's been really good lately. If you're not going, Kyle Harrison, $3,900 there. So some mid-tier options.
Dude, look at the Tovar splits. And 11 of his 16 home runs on the road this year.
Yeah.
Bizarre. That's a bizarre split for but he has been super, super good lately. So I have no problem getting to him at 3,900 if you're not playing Harrison.
Yeah, I agree with you. Working our way down, you can play Fitzgerald here if you want to. Romy Gonzalez is here as well.
Xavier Edwards, 31.
So would you give Edwards a look against Peralta?
Yeah, he's good. And he steals bases. He steals
a lot of bases. He does. Oakland, do we go Schumann, 27?
Dude, I mean, of course we go Schumann. Bro, this guy is just unstoppable in the 9-hole.
I agree. Anybody else shortstop?
To outfield we go.
Ohtani, Judge, Soto, top 3 price guys. Jarren Duran creeping up there. Pick your poison. Where you're starting off?
Juan Soto for me. Soto would be the top outfielder spend of the day, just with how good he's been. Another guy that's stats might look a little better with the recent 2 for 3, and he's hitting .430 in his last 10 games without the 2 for 3 with a home run against the Mets. So yeah, I mean, 26 home runs now in the year. He has 72 RBIs. So I'll go Soto as my top guy. Duran's right there, but
I
I'd
would say
say Soto.
Tyler O'Neill versus a lefty.
Dude,
Someone pointed out that Tyler O'Neill has 20 homers and 38 RBI. Can we get some men on base for this guy?
Wait, what? I traded for this?
20 homers,
obviously the
38
home runs have been fine. Well, he's doing them all. He's hitting them all against lefties, and Boston can't hit against lefties. Other than Tyler O'Neill.
Can't get on in front of him, yeah.
Other than Tyler O'Neill.
So if you like your solo home run, Tyler O'Neill's your guy.
Man, it's also potential double dong. He has 2 double dongs in the last 4 games.
Brent Rooker, also a man of home run power.
Lots of them. In bunches.
$5,300 can certainly play him out there. Let's do the Butler check. Let's see.
He's over 4K.
Is he? Just over 4K? He is. 39.
Wow, he's over 4K on the 2-game Thursday.
Okay, well, he's dropped them $100, $3,900. So that you have to play,
dude.
Right?
Like if you were going over a list right now of top 5 players in baseball,
he's PR1 in our league. He's for the last 15 days or something like that.
He's better than Bobby Witt.
Yeah, over the last 15.
Well, he also has a 3 home run. Yeah, okay, that makes sense. But
not overall, but
no. I know. I'm saying. I mean, but those last 15 days, Bobby Witt has also been inhuman. That's why I was saying those. He literally.
So has Lawrence Butler. He's hitting 500.
No, I know. I know. Respect. No. Respect to Lawrence Butler. I'm not. Listen, we play him every day. I'm not. Man
almost cycled the other day against the Astros here.
And then they only scored 1 run the next day in the Hunter Brown start, but it was a double to start the game by Lawrence Butler, and then an RB, and they scored immediately. That was how the game started.
So he's a freak, fastest kid alive. Anyways, Teoscar against Frambers, 5K. Santander homers off everybody. He's 51.
He does. And dude, I have the Major numbers up for us now.
Yeah.
Lefties against Major, 343 average, 452 OBP, 582 slug, 438 WOBA, 16 innings. He has a negative 4.8 K to walk ratio as well against lefties. So also all those numbers, 672 xFIP. He has literally pitched as poorly as he has deserved against left-handed bats.
Well, Santander's a righty, but that doesn't matter.
So. Santander is a switch hitter.
Switch hitter. There you go. That's what I meant. He's facing a righty.
You learn something new every day.
This thing throws me off every time. I keep looking at the R next to the pitcher name, and I was like, oh, he's a righty. Throws me off every time. Teoscar gets the lefty and Framber. We know that matchup already. Where do you go next?
Brendan Doyle. Don't care if he's out of course. I understand I should care. Gets a lefty. He's been great against lefties. Dude, I don't know. Maybe I'm playing Colorado. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. We'll see.
Tovar,
Doyle and Tolia. Yeah, maybe I'm just a Colorado fan. 4,500 for Doyle. He's been amazing. I can't really hate on that.
You know who's been really good against left-handed pitching lately?
Whom?
One George Springer.
He has been.
Last 11 games against left-handed pitching. That's just the last 30 days over on Fangraphs. 467 batting average, a 460 ISO, and a 1,500 OPS.
Seems good.
So yeah, if you want to throw some George Springer in your life with Vladdy Guerrero, can certainly make that work. Same price point there. Working our way down. Let's see. I mean, Wyatt's been terrible, but he's been hitting the ball hard. I don't know if you saw yesterday, he had four outs, and they were all 90 or greater exit velocity. 2 were over 100 exit velocity. Line drive outs.
Awful feeling.
Awful luck. So maybe Wyatt Langford, I know some numbers have been bad, but some of the StatCast numbers haven't been as poor.
Ref Snyder is going to hit the top of the order.
Yeah. Kalanick leads off still if you're not sure what to do with Senga there.
Senga at home. It's and Mets bullpen kind of good.
Sure.
Other than Edwin Diaz.
Andujar, 4K.
Yep, Andujar 4K. And then you can conversely play Blade 38.
Yep.
Without your top lineup, your top 3 Oakland lineup will be 4K, 38, 39. That's your top three in the lineup.
Jackson Chourio should lead off against Trevor Rogers.
Yeah, he will. He will. He's been
pretty
really good against lefties. Yeah.
Pretty good lately. Kowser homer today.
Dude, Colton Cowser in general has been super good of late. And he also has some speed. This is a great spot for left-handed bats. Kerstead will be back in the lineup.
3,400 Kerstead, Kowser 35. So
yeah, it's super. Dude, Baltimore. I'm going back to the well. I tweeted it today, like as a kind of like a tip. Don't think of the last day or two when you're playing when you're in DFS. Like just if it's a good matchup, it's a good matchup. Like don't be afraid to go back to that team. Even I'm not afraid to go back to Gunnar, even though he stunk the last couple days. Like Gunnar has another great matchup. You know what Gunnar Henderson's gonna do if he continuously gets great matchups? He's gonna hit 2 home runs in a game. So don't be afraid to get to Baltimore, even though they've kind of been disappointing outside like Kowser and a couple other here. Like Santander was great, but don't be afraid to go back to the Baltimore well, even if some of the guys you're going to let you down.
Yeah. Any other value plays you're in on?
Robbie Grossman will probably play. He homered on Thursday. If you want to play him, I don't think there's Leote will play at 3K. I don't know. Is there anything under? We talked about Robles. He'll bat second probably. If you want to go there, but
sure. I don't mind the Robles call. We've been playing him enough. All right, let's. I guess we're probably going to go with some O's here, right? The Cows are in the lineup. Spend up for Witt or Gunner.
See, that's the tough part. I'm not afraid to go to Gunner. I'm just more afraid to fade Bobby Witt. But I'm not fading Gunner in a great spot again, just because he's let me down 2 straight slates. Realistically, they have the best matchup on the board, right? Like Major has been awful, and awful against lefties.
Awful against lefties. Do you plug Santander here then?
Dude, I'm good with Baltimore, full bore Baltimore.
All right, pitching. Are we going Freeland? Are we going Thorpe? What's our spend down?
What do you think?
I'm asking.
Did I sell you on the Freeland? I mean, I tried to do my best on Freeland. 34% strikeout rate in July.
That is fine by me. So we go Freeland, and then what's our SP1? Peralta?
Yeah, Freddie. Freddie.
That gives us 4K. We're gonna spend down a catcher here, I would assume.
Or spend exactly 4K, depending on.
We could do El Gary again. El Gary at 33.
El Gary. Oh yeah, El Gary's back. I forgot. Yeah. Eric Haas is dead. Yeah.
All right. Save a little cash, get some power against Rogers. Then we're okay with spending up, but we didn't need to spend up. Where's Fitzgerald at? We're playing Freeland. We're playing Freeland, so can't go there. Norby.
Yeah, Norby would be good.
Full Baltimore it.
I'm
Vladdy at first.
Yep. Or third.
Third is 48, or third.
Right, you can use Vlad. Oh no, Vladdy only has first now because they decided that wasn't. I don't think we need this much money, because I don't know. We like the Arenado range, but this is not a great position.
Oh, we can move around that. It's all right. So if we like the Arenado.
Right? I mean, I know you went right down to our boy
Ernie Clemente.
Went to Ernie, who is usually
if we did Ernie, we can spend up a catcher, which you said you liked. Clement is here. 53.
El Gary's teammate. Pretty good against lefties.
Yeah, Will Smith, if you want to get your Dodger against Framber. Pretty much any of these guys are.
Dude, that's what I'm saying. They're actually legit. They're the 5K catchers are actually legit.
I'm good with going Williams. So, example lineup for everybody. We're stacking Baltimore. Going back to the well. Freeland, Peralta, Contreras, Guerrero, Norby, Clement, Henderson, Butler, Kowser, and Santander. Example lineup, we'll be back at live at 5 p.m. Eastern time, and Grande will have your playbook out. For everybody there, good luck with your early research, and make sure you tune in. We'll catch you later.